Two notes here. One, I decided to make this video now instead of the Dynasty review. I decided because like all the attention is gonna devote to this, so like in terms of the media way, so I wanted to do this now and I record this and like yeah, and I will record the Dynamite review, the Dynasty, excuse me, review after I finish recording this. So that is that I want to spare my videos a little bit, and so I don't have to like ramp up like my videos if that makes any sense. So I want to do this now, and then I will get to the Dynasty AEW review. And the second of all, the thumbnail of this video, I'm gonna get a shout out right in the link to Koopy Wrestling. He made some really awesome wallpapers like over the years. Like if you have seen like some of the thumbnails for some of the Wrestlemania builds over the years, he's been behind some of it that you see on YouTube over the year when it comes when people talk about WrestleMania matches and stuff. He's been making, and I give a credit to him for this thumbnail of it because I thought, yeah, it kind of fits the whole story of this mania. It encapsulates better. So I thought, yeah, I was going to use it for this video. And if you don't know by now, this is Local 88. They're really not sugarcoating anything. We're here to talk about WrestleMania 41. I'm gonna talk about night 1 and night 2 together here. So, WrestleMania 41 coming up this weekend. Can we like not do a Easter Mania again? Like, seems so. I don't know. Me, for me, wrestling it's always kind of about little things and like, I don't know. I do not feel like a WrestleMania on like a Easter Sunday. For example, like, and you could tell, you could just see how that being an Easter Mania, East, with Easter Sunday being a WrestleMania this year, they had to stretch a bunch of angles to like basically kill time because WrestleMania is literally in the middle of April this year. So they kind of had to automatically like stress something in order to not make them seem like filler, filler or stale. And this is where it gets to the root of the problems, as many of people have been criticizing this bill for WrestleMania for being no less set of terms, lackluster, underwhelming, too little too late. And I want to digest each match for each night. I'm going to go one by one, and I'm going to tell you if they did their job to get me to care about this year's Mania and for their certain match. Like, I'm going to go all the matches here. There's only 13 as of this week. The Randy Orton match might get announced for this week's SmackDown. Like, by the time you're watching this, it may have been announced. So, Yeah, so there are 13 matches on here, and let's get to what I presume is going to be the opening match. I think it's gonna be for the World Heavyweight Championship. Not so main event Jey Uso, the man who won the 2025 Men's Royal Rumble, will challenge one more time for the World Heavyweight Championship against the Ring General Gunther for the world title. And I gotta say, they have to stop mentioning that a woman is going to paraphrase main event mania. Like you just knew for a look at this, man, and there was no way it was gonna main event Iron Night, but this year's Roman, they had on. I have about Jay main event Monica Noble not just being just a Monica, that he is the main event of WrestleMania edition. And Lord and behold, he's most likely gonna be current Joker the show. Like, like it's not been enforced. I guess you can say over the years, but they have got to stop mentioning on it on television. Just say a world title opportunity at WrestleMania. Boom, done, easy. It's, yeah, like you just water it down the rumble by telling people in no sense that they gonna main event mania only to not main event mania. Like, if you gonna do it, just stop saying it's main eventing. Gosh. And yeah, like Gunther versus Jey Uso, World Heavyweight Championship. Um, I thought it started off good with the promos between both guys, Jay and Gunther, like the night after Rumble. Gunther say he's going to give Jay 10 weeks of hell. That's maybe the most violent, destructive performance that this business has ever seen. And Jay challenging Gunther, announcing he's challenging Gunther at Mania. I thought that was some decent good stuff. They kind of watered down when the A-Town Down Under thing, and that wasn't the most exhilarating. And it just went on and on. And then you got Jay's brother, Jimmy Uso, Big Jim, coming out in this feud. And man, they really turned the heat up when he got involved. When he was starting talking to Jay, with Jay having the self doubt if he could even beat Gunther. Then the following, they did an amazing angle with Gunther. They had a match, Jimmy against Gunther on a Raw, and Gunther just absolutely murders Jimmy. Just not during the match, but afterward when Jay got involved and he zip tied Jay to the middle rope or the top rope, I think. I think it was the middle, but yeah, he zip tied Jay to the rope and Gunther just start going to town on Big Jimmy, to the point Jimmy had grins a fucking mask on his face, and Gunther just choking the life while Jay just looking, having to force to look and just watch of this destruction. And had the blood, and when Gunther had the blood cover his body and he holds up the world title, it's fucking beautiful. And even the segment after when Jay caught in one of his best promos of his career when he was saying he's praying to the Lord that he's gonna praise the Lord the night before man for the man he's about to become, and that he told his mom when mom asked him, "Why do you not protect him, Joshua?" Going to the deep lore of the family stuff, and Jay saying he's not afraid, and yeah, they in this last feud got me to really get me hyped for this, man, and it turned out to be a decent story that was really saved by the last 2 weeks on this program, and yeah, I'm a little bit sore for the match. I think Jay is gonna be motivated to perform at a high level here, knowing what is at stake, and being in the ring with one of the best in the world in Gunther certainly does help things, I will assume. And they're gonna have a heat, and they're gonna have a hot match on the first night, in the first match with a hot crowd that will be into all in them during the match. And yeah, like it's pretty much set stone who's gonna win. I just look at the story. Jay's gonna win this. Like you won't put that much effort and time devoted to this guy just to have him lose again to the same guy. Then that's kind of stupid. Now WWE has done some stupid things in the past, but I don't know if they can be this stupid to have Jay lose again to Gunther. So I'm going for Jey Uso to win the World Heavyweight Championship, and there will be 50 or 60K getting their case in to start this show, and it will be a great moment to start this show. And I hope, for Jay's sake, with how his fans perceive him to be, I hope he steps up a lot as being the world champion. So because when you're a world champion, there's a high certain standard like you kind of have to live, but especially now in this era, like you gotta have to step up your ground for order to be, because yeah, and like I kind of talk about how it just felt like he was just being shoehorned into this spot without being too much being prepared for him as a performer or as a character to prepare him for this stuff. But they seem to be pretty committed at this point, so yeah. So I'm going for Jey Uso to win the world title here. Next match I'm going to talk about is Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. Um, okay, this is where you can you start to see some issues with Naya kind of being night dude, and they will pull matches that doesn't really that you will normally see on a Raw or on a SmackDown, just to be on the show, just to kill time, basically. Fortunately, that's kind of bended. It just this really is a TV feud play out on WrestleMania. Like, and like this El Grande Americano thing, like I feel like it's a good idea, but not so good execution. Like I get the idea of it, but going so with the racial tones as when they call it like he's being called Gulf of Mexico, then Gulf of America, when it actually be renamed in real life by the president here. That just makes it a little bit tasteless, and it they they kind of can get overboard with this gimmick, like with in terms of the racial tones that they like. They just toned down just a bit. I think this gimmick has something, like and I know like Shaq Gable, he he has proven he can be a versatile performer. But I hate the fact that this is what it took for him to finally get a singles one-on-one match at Mania. After 8 freaking years being on the main roster, this is how he gets a match at WrestleMania. Being in a mask. Like, come on, what are we doing here? Like, yeah, and this does, and like I said, this doesn't quite feel like a Mania match that it does spell law on a Mania. But I hope they can make something out of this both way, and Grande Americana. I think they can pull it off some really good stuff in the ring. And I think if they really want to commit to this, I think Grande Americano kind of has to win here. I think the play you can do is have a match versus match at like either the next pay per view, or PLE, or at a point in episode on Raw on Netflix. Like, I think that's the play here. So I think I'm gonna make kind of the way I'm predicting to win here. And yeah, and let's see how his gimmick goes after this. So yeah, there's that. A World Tag Team Championship match. This time from Raw. You get the War Raiders defending their World Tag Team titles against the New Day. And again, like, this is another one of these matches where it feels like it can just be on a roll. And I don't know how the hell they can build such a good story on a SmackDown with the tag division. And their tag title must be done on the SmackDown before Mania. But this match gets to be on the Mania card. Like, again, like, what are you fucking doing here? And like I said, well, this doesn't feel like a Mania match because, like, the New Day, like, have felt completely after they turn heel. Like, basically, like, they have one great segment with Biggie where they turn heel and stuff, and then just kind of been fading in the background for weeks, and now they've been featured. Like, one bump before this, and there's not really much time to develop heat on these guys. So, yeah, this just feels like a shoe-in title match with very little reason to care. Like, yeah, and I don't know this if they were gonna do this match on America, they should have had a stipulation. I think a Viking rules would have worked, but they seem they don't want to go there for some particular reason. So yeah, I'm gonna go on a limb and say the New Day wins the tag titles. Like they, if they really want this hero for the New Day, well, they kind of have to win here. Otherwise, this just feel pointless putting on a Mania card. Just my opinion. So yeah, but I hope they make it good. But there's not very little reason to care about this. So there's that. Next, for the United States Championship, you got LA9 defending the United States Championship against Jacob Fatu. And this match is a weird case because while it doesn't quite feel like a Mania match, kind of looking forward to it in some weird way. Like, well, I like both these performers in this match. So, so there is that for me to get a little bit excited about this. So, I'm kind of curious how the chemistry will be during this. So, yeah, and this is one of the matches kind of hard to predict because on the one hand, I can totally see Jacob Fatu win. I mean, the man has been pretty over with the crowd for quite some while now. And I think if you really want to stop a rocket to Jacob, you pretty much gonna give him the title. But I feel there might be another story playing here, in that Solo like does some antics to try to help Jacob, but inadvertently he's going to cause Jacob and accidentally help LA9 win. So yeah, like this is kind of hard. But I think I might have to go with LA9 here because for sole purpose of he just got the title. And I don't know if they want to hot potato it too much with those titles. So I'm gonna go with him. But I will not be shocked in any of this if Jacob wins it. Just to be clear. But I'm gonna go LA9 here. So yeah. Next match is low key kind of pretty much one of the best builds to this Mania card. It's Naomi versus Jade Cargill. Now this is the first non-title women's singles match like ever. Like I know Tori Wilson and Candice Mitchell had a thing at WrestleMania 22, but can you even classify as being a actual match? Like this is between two black women in a non-singles in a non-title singles women's match at WrestleMania. Like like this is an actual thing that they're doing, and this dude they have been killing with this story like Naomi. Like I feel like with the this gimmick that Naomi has, she's gonna have a world title strap on rocket to it. Like they're gonna make them. They're gonna make the higher odds put. They're gonna force the higher odds to put a title on her real soon because of how effort she has put into this new heel character, and it comes through, and you can tell she's become more and more comfortable with her character as a heel. And it's been pretty kind of a joy to watch, to see Naomi with this new heel character and stuff. So yeah, she's been quite literally been the MVP of this women's division now. Like she's killing it with her character work. And again, this is kind of one of the harder predictions. And I think because they're not doing a whole lot to protect Jay too much, so I think they're gonna want to win it. But I feel like for this heel character of Naomi to where she has to win. So and yeah, I think that's what I'm going to for Naomi to. I think Jay can survive a loss like here, especially if I think the feud is going to go past WrestleMania, and when a certain individual got to go when I get to night two, I think Naomi has to win. I think and I'm going to predict her to win here against Shay Cargill. So this should be a fun match. Next up for the WWE Women's Championship again with Tiffany Stratton defending her championship against Charlotte Flair. And oh boy, this feud has gotten real ugly fast, huh? Like, they did some nothing segments where it was just Charlotte beating down Tiffany, and then on a pre-tape interview, like I think on a one SmackDown, and I tell entirely, I think that's where it was from, and Bogona, I think that's how it's pronounced. But yeah, Charlotte pretty much made a fool out of Tiffany during that. Like she completely eviscerated her verbally, and Tiffany needed something. And oh boy, she did on that faithful SmackDown in Chicago. And I don't even kept the dirt she had said on that. You just look at the promo and just see how little it was from the actual script, because Tiffany went on the wall at the end when she said after WrestleMania, you gotta be just like outside the ring all alone. And then she said, "What's the count? Oh, at three." And then said, "Woo!" And then Charlotte immediately said, "Is that why Kaiser's been in my DMs?" And they did all that, and that was quite literally the most interesting segment they've done in this entire feud. Like quite literally. Because and Tiffany needed like this because this feud has done zero fucking favors for her. Like zero. Like she's been getting her ass kicked by Charlotte in every single way. And I know it's hard to bet against Charlotte this situation, but I'm sorry, like she's gotta win. Tiffany's gotta win here. Because if it's not that this whole situation just made her to be like a complete fool. I'm sorry, like for this story to work, Tiffany has to win. Like maybe Charlotte could get the belt back afterwards, but for this is WrestleMania, in her WrestleMania debut, she has to win here. And I'm slightly leaning towards Tiffany here. I'm slightly picking her to win this match and keep her title. At least I hope. Because you never know with this company with Charlotte Flair. So there's that. But yeah, this feud has been pretty. It's been pretty poor, piss poor, I must say. And then the main event of Night 1 WrestleMania. A triple threat between Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins versus CM Punk in CM Punk's first WrestleMania main event match of his career. The added favor being he gets Paul Heyman to ring accompany him at this show. This match, oh boy, where do I start? I kind of thought about this in my Rumble review, and I didn't quite elaborate here, but I feel like they painted themselves into a corner by doing this match. And I don't think it's because of any finish that they could do. I'm just talking about this particular match. Like, they painted themselves into a corner by booking this match because for a few things, like, one, you're pretty much missing all the views, all the heat from each individual. Punk Seth, Roman Seth, Roman Punk. They made all those three conflicts into one giant story that doesn't seem natural. And two, you just like going to water down two fusion matches like Roman and Punk and Roman and Seth. Like, you know, those two matches going to come after this, so you just water it down those concepts of those two matches because you're now doing this in its entirety, and that doesn't make a competitive feud. And the promos, like the first 7 they did were going there. Like, I'm sorry, but that Roman promo suck. I don't care how you put it fucking suck. It have no fucking substance whatsoever, and he made no fucking sense when he talks. Like, Roman's whole issue was like Punk eliminate him for the 1-8. Has to fucking know that the Royal Rumble every year is every man for their fucking selves, and that one just kills him at that Rumble show. Literally no fucking substance. And then Seth and Punk call it pretty much of nothing but burger promos between the two of them. And they had a brawl where they just literally did this. All they did was did this during the brawl. Where they were not fine, was doing this, pointing. Gosh, and I think the segments after this got a little better. But that is when you had the element of the Paul Heyman story. And this is part of why this match doesn't work. Because Rollins doesn't really have much history with Paul. Maybe fellowship, but not. But only that, his real history with Paul Heyman is with Roman and Punk. Which makes you think Roman and Punk is the story here. And Rollins is just being there as the third wheel. Now they're making an effort to seem like he's not the third wheel here, but yeah, that's kind of what he is in this match, and that kind of what takes me out of this whole story, is that he really doesn't feel that much importance in this match, and I think for no other reason, he's only being added to this match just so he could eat the pin. I think that's pretty much the only reason they even did this match. So Rollins could take the pin because Nia Punk alone wanted to do the job. Just heck in the theory here, but I think that's why they did the match. So, and with Rollins stood standing tall on that go home additional wall on Monday, that's kind of amazing. Pretty in many ways. So, yeah. So, I'm gonna go CM Punk to win here. I think what's gonna happen is Paul Heyman fully betraying Roman Reigns after Roman just shoved him on that go home semi wall. He's going to betray him, and Punk's going to capitalize and hit the DTS on Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. And he's going to pay Rollins, and Punk is going to win here. So that's why I feel like that CM Punk's going to win here. That he's gonna win the triple threat in his first main event match. So I think this will be a great match despite the a okay but pretty of a messy story between all of these three. So yeah, that's night one in its entirety. Then you go to night two. We don't know. Starting off, we don't know what Randy Orton's match was is going to be at this particular moment. But again, at the time I'm recording this, we still don't know what Randy Orton's opponent is going to be. Because it was originally going to be Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens, but Kevin Owens unfortunately announced 2 weeks, to a week and a half ago that he got injured. He has he has a fusion on his neck, which could be pretty damning. Like if the reports are true that he might not even make it to WrestleMania, like even next year that will be and he will miss throughout all 2025. Like that's a real bummer because it was one of the better storylines heading into Mania, and just to see it drop on a dime because of an injury, that fucking sucks. No way to play. So yeah, but we don't know what Randy Orton's opponent is going to be, and I think you see they kind of a pickle here because I think. First off, I think Orton was gonna win his match against Kevin Owens. And I think no matter what, and I think what happens here with Randy, I think he's gotta have to get a win here if you want him to go to main event Backlash in his home state of St. Louis. So he kind of needs to win, but the opponent's kind of the tricky thing because who does he work? See suggestions of possible speculation. Nick Aldis, Solo Sokola, even with returning names like Rusev and Aleister Black. So yeah, those like the four main opponents that have been discussed for like people have been talking about here about how those four names have been talked about for on here of who's Randy going to face him in. And I don't know about Rusev or Aleister Black because I feel like they got the win on their first try here. And I don't know they want to do that here. They want to take either one of these will lose here to Randy Orton. Then you get to Nick Aldis and Solo, and I think, and I don't think Solo might be the play because I think he might play a part in the U.S. title match. So that just kind of leaves Nick Aldis. To be quite frank, I think just it's going to be Nick Aldis and when it's that big teasing almost here. And yeah, I think for that, Nick is going to be his opponent and when he's going to beat him at WrestleMania. That's kind of the assumption I made. So, yeah, but what I also presume is going to be the opening night match for night 2 is the Women's World Championship, a triple threat between Io Sky defending her Women's World Championship against Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley. Yeah, this has been a weird feud in the sense they kind of like don't see they don't see what they want Rhea Ripley to be. What that I mean is they kind of want her to be a heel, but the fans don't want to see to go against her. So they kind of had to make it like a little tweener thing, and with Bianca, they wanted to make it seem like she's a justifiable face, but she's pretty much getting some boost in some shows that she's been on, and that just made kind of throws off some dynamics here. And Io Sky is pretty much just this, so there's not been pretty much a playing effort put into this field with how like they kind of have to box themselves into booking one certain way when the audience is telling you another thing. So yeah, it's kind of a turbulent field at best. And yeah, like, and I feel with the story, how they've been playing off Io basically being the third and Bianca and Rhea just been totally focusing on each other. You have to think Io Sky is retaining here. And I think she's gonna pin Rhea because Rhea's been acting all cocky, all arrogant in this. I think a pinfall loss could add some layer to her character because you can only book her strong so many times before that just gets stale. So there's that. So I'm gonna go with Io Sky to retain her Women's World Title. What should be a kick-ass match. I mean, when you look at all these things, this should be an amazing match. So there's that. Then you get for the Intercontinental Championship Fatal 4-Way. Braun Breaker, the champion, defending against Penta, Dominic Mysterio, and Finn Balor. Now, again, this kind of feels like a warm-up, but they kind of been building this nicely over the past several weeks. And yeah, like, I think this has potential to be really good. Like, I feel like, what can I say? Like, while this doesn't feel too mania worthy again, in my opinion, but they've been trying to tell some story here with the friction of the Judgment Day with Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, and when Braun Breaker kicking all kinds of ass. And yeah, he's pretty much due for kind of due for a little tie-up push in a not so distant future. So yeah, and Penta has been growing some nice momentum, and I pretty feel it feels so good for him to. It's pretty impressive to see him on his 3 months on May was and he's having a May match. So that's cool for him. So this has potential again, like I said, to be good. And this is one of the wild card picks I'm going to have. But it seems kinda obvious to how they telling the story. I think Dominic is going to win the Intercontinental Championship. And I predict in doing so he's going to pin Finn Balor. That's what I think. I think he's going to pin Finn Balor to win the IC title, and that's going to cause to have maybe Finn Balor kick out of the Judgment Day. I think that might be the play. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Dominic to win, and he can do that without having to pin Braun Breaker because in a multi-man match you don't have to pin Braun. So there is that. So I'm going to predict Dominic to win the Intercontinental Championship. Next up for the Women's Tag Team Championship, you got Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez defending their titles against Bayley and Laya Vicaria. And it kind of just should have been a fatal four-way. I think what should have happened is like the four-way for the women's side that should have been Lyra, Bayley, Liv, and Roxanne. And Roxanne ain't even on the main card. And she just apparently I just think she's on the NXT Stand Deliver Preacher, which just kind of a dumb idea, pretty much. And yeah, there kind of had to be some social plans with that. Then now you have to do this throwaway, pretty much a throwaway women's tag team down just to get these ladies on the card. So yeah, not pretty much a promising match. But I think this has potential to be good. So yeah, I am going to predict Liv and Raquel to retain the titles here. So there's that. Not much reason to even care about this. They haven't given me a reason to care because this has just been thrown together. Now, the next match that they kind of gave me to care about it's the Sin City Street Fight between Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest. And this has the potential to be a soul steal. Like I think with all the layer stories between these two, I think it has potential to be a kick-ass street fight. Just let all those two big beefy and Manfred just tear to one another. They could do so much with it. They can have many things with this and should be a fire match. And I think they are determined to make this because on the surface, you would think Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest at WrestleMania doesn't make sense, but yeah, it does. And then I made it work to this story with Drew losing to Damian Priest a bunch of times. Last year's Mania when Damian cashed in the Money in the Bank, won the World title, then being Clash of the Castle, Money in the Bank. So there's some stories, so I expected them to deliver with this. And I think I'm gonna go with Drew McIntyre to win here since he got due for a big win. And he hasn't got a big win in a long while. He has to win here, I think. And I think he's going to against Damian Priest. Since it's Street Fight that potentially be a show steal. Well, a next match could also be a show stealer is AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. And again, this haven't given me much to care about this. Like, there's not reason to much because they have done very fucking little with this. It was literally Logan challenging, AJ challenging Logan Paul to a match at WrestleMania. And Logan just accepting. That was the entire basis of it. Just a one tiny spot with Logan eliminating AJ from the Royal Rumble. That's literally been the crux of this. So yeah, they haven't given me too much reason to care. But this should be a kick-ass man. And the way that they've been, and like, yeah, like with the way they've been going, like, I kind of have to think AJ's winning with how much Logan's been one upping on him. I think AJ's going to win here, and I'm going to predict AJ to win here in the match. Should be really good. There's the main event. This entire weekend for all the marbles. Cody Rhodes defending his undisputed WWE Championship against John Cena. Wow. Had a lot. I will admit, while I did have a lot of expectations after the show where I did my review of that, while I did have some expectations through it, it was always a lingering fear in the back of my head that this might not go over well. They do play too careful, and I'm sorry to say, but yeah, they pretty much did exactly what I fear. Which is not much. Like you have John Cena be a fucking heel. And like while the concept of his promo is good, they kinda also losing some plus here in that if he really felt about it, why he didn't fucking did 10, 50 fucking years ago? And like, I feel like they really don't know what his character wants to be. Because like they're saying he was this ruthless, vicious heel, and then the next promo he cuts after that, he sounds like a whiny bitch. And again, this is gonna come because you know the known Cena hater if you know about now. But it kind of feels John hasn't put that much effort in as it being a heel fucking character. And I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but it's just a fucking shame. They had one great segment in London. Apparently they're gonna have another segment this week on SmackDown by the time as of the time recording it, they're gonna have another final segment on the Golden Show SmackDown. And I really hope they can turn up the heat in this because when people talk about when it comes to the bill of Mania being lackluster on the way with too little too late, it kind of all ties to this main event. And when I heard reports like of how The Rock, with him being very fucking mentioned in this, that The Rock reportedly wanted Cody to turn here, but Cody turned down. So John Cena was like the second choice in this. So when you put it to terms like that, it's kind of tempting my prediction because if they're not fully committed to this Cena heel character long term, then he's not gonna win here. Like, he's not. And I think, like, and I think some population that Cody Rhodes is gonna win. He's gonna keep the title. Maybe he has Stone Cold if rumors turns to be if he's gonna be on the Mania Sunday Mania event. May have a face-to-face confrontation with The Rock that we were supposed to have last year, but didn't, but might get this year. So yeah, I think Cody Rhodes is winning. Like, if they're not committed to this thing a heel turn long term, then don't even fucking bother putting the belt on John. And this is how you're going to do. So yeah, I'm gonna go on a limb and say Cody Rhodes retains. So there's that for my WrestleMania build. And they have to deliver the goods with this. With the way they overpriced the ridiculous ticket sales, the ticket prices of this. They had to give the people their money's worth by delivering a really good, really great show. Because yeah, like, this view has been it's missed that spark in the last 2 years. That spark that we kind of had in last year's WrestleMania. It's definitely been missed. It definitely could have been so much more. Like, it's not been terrible, but again, could have been so much more. So I hope they deliver the grace with this WrestleMania show on this week. So there's that for my WrestleMania 41 preview predictions. Like this video if you haven't. Subscribe. Tell me what you think is going to happen on each night of WrestleMania 41 in the comment section below. And as always, I'm Jason Martinez. I approve this message.